That's why you want to be out.
And then she said, "Put the sausage down and leave it outside with a big cat."
That's
sorry, are we live?
Yes, we are. We got that. Yes. That's why you always wanted to be out of there before they turn the lights back on. That is one sight you did not want to have embedded in your head before you go to bed. Yeah.
Everybody looks cool under black light.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Come
Except
on in,
me,
folks.
because the mustard stain didn't come out.
Yeah. We see you out there. Hear you the drool all over your shirt. Yeah. Again. Coming in, folks. We see you out there. The chat is live. We've got Tarzan to look at. So we're gonna go. We were talking about swinging on vines before we come on the air. So
did you catch up last week's show, Russ?
No, not yet. I haven't had time.
Oh,
but I will go check it out.
There's some good stuff here. Here we go. Here's the opening.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with feeling.
Lamb.
Always do it with feeling.
Should always, yes. Everything you do you should do with feeling. That's with a W. We're looking at Burne Hogarth's Tarzan, folks. Here we go. Blow myself up here. Last week we went through the Tarzan of the Apes book. Beautiful hardbound volume, an early graphic novel, the telling of the origins of Tarzan by the great Burne Hogarth. Hogarth had gone on to do wonderful instructional books and taught illustration at the scholastic or the college level for many years. Dynamic figure drawing, dynamic light and shade, dynamic wrinkles, all of the dynamic books he did. But before that, he did Tarzan. And then while he was teaching, he did these graphic novels. The first one was all in color, printed on incredibly beautiful, slick paper. And the second one was done in black and white, Jungle Tales of Tarzan. Had a smaller print run. It's a little bit harder to find. It breaks down Tarzan's story and individual adventures.
His work is basically a study of human anatomy, isn't it?
Very much so. Yep. Here we go. He did the Tarzan comic strip for many years, right after Hal Foster. And Hal Foster left to do his own strip, Prince Valiant. And Burne did Tarzan for a while and then went on to do the instructional books to teach illustration.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this and say, I don't know, someone who's excellent with an anatomy would be John Buscema.
Yeah.
And you see the different ways that they approach anatomy. Personally, I think there's more flow in Buscema's work because he stretches things. I think Hogarth is probably a little bit more accurate.
A little more classically trained, I would imagine, too.
Yeah, and so you get these beautiful anatomy lessons from both artists, and you see them expressing it in their own unique ways in both cases.
Yeah. Everybody see it all right? Are we good?
Yeah.
We're lost.
I think Buscema shows it more of a dynamic superhero way. This to me, this guy is real sort of thing. His proportions and everything. You know, he's not. I
think what Buscema did because he
posed too.
Yeah, what Buscema did was he managed to create a lot of flow and movement because he really was about the sequential art. These look more like illustrations applied to text, whereas Buscema told stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe something else that led to the way that they drew. I mean, this is beautiful stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying it's really interesting how you can see artists of incredible levels and the way that they, represent themselves in their drawings.
Yeah. Well, I would say Buscema was deeply influenced by a lot of Hogarth's work.
Oh, no doubt, without doubt. Yeah.
Because he made such an impact when he was doing that strip.
I mean, you can see looking at this how a young Buscema would be looking at this and going, "Oh, right," and where he put it into his work as well. I mean, look at the way he's out of all of these, the way he's striding across that bridge is what sticks out to me. Absolutely beautiful, and then the pen work or the brush work, the details are just gorgeous.
Yep. I'd imagine the majority of this is brush.
Yeah.
An incredibly steady hand. The background here might be pen.
Mm-hmm.
To give it a smaller, thinner line, more control. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's just, gorgeously done.
We touched on it last week, the way that everything is alive. The vegetation is wonderful, isn't it? Everything's alive, and it's like it's moving. But look at that back.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Mm.
But that's the difference, isn't it? That's every muscle.
Yeah.
Every sinew.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Buscema would have been broader in his approach to the musculature.
And the lighting would have been different as well.
And the lighting would have been different, yeah.
Yep.
He definitely spent time hanging out at a gym sketching people.
Like I said, he was probably classically trained.
Yeah.
I guess,
a lot of Victorian statues right in there.
Yeah.
He's just chilling in the sketching dude, hanging out at the gym. He's like, "Why are you sketching me?"
Tell this policeman why you're sketching me.
Please.
He looks like sort of an Adonis type of thing, doesn't he? Like Michelangelo David,
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic with the hair and everything.
Very much, yeah. Just
that vegetation is incredible.
Yeah.
You can see that there's obviously a lot of thought on every piece of the panel and every line. There's nothing sort of rushed or I'll just do this because I can. It's all there, isn't it?
Yeah.
For a purpose.
Just this illustration is amazing because it's up the nose, under the chin.
Yeah, Gil Kane.
Yes, very difficult to do. Yeah, very Gil Kane. I'm sure
Gil
Kane
turned
saw
up
a
for
lot
this
of
one.
this stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he saw this stuff when he was a kid.
Now that is impressive.
Yeah.
The top left.
Yeah.
That's difficult posing. Very difficult posing to draw. Like wrapping the torso over as your shoulders come over. That's tough stuff. You can see it's tough because so many people have trouble with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. With all this detail, it's a good job. One of Kirby's Thor's inkers didn't get hold of it. I'll be diplomatic for a change.
It wouldn't have.
That's how I feel every time I open the Thor Essential. I just cry a little bit.
It would not have ended well.
No.
Look at the left page, bottom panel there, with the tree, or not the top right corner of it. You can see that the top right corner of the bottom left panel. You can see that right there where your finger is. Look at the hand come out of the tree.
Yeah, it's like a hand. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we said.
And there's look. You can almost see a face.
Yes, there's like
in the tree.
It's like an Asian Chinese face, isn't it, with a mustache?
Yeah, just saying.
We said this last week, didn't we? That there's a lot. There's a lot of faces and things going on in the vegetation.
To give you that subliminal
and
impression
then
that
left,
the jungle was alive.
Yeah, and then on the left of that tree, the
birds'
branches
heads
look like they've got birds' heads.
Yeah.
Up the top left. Top left. They
Yeah.
look like they're birds' heads. No,
No,
in the main panel.
bottom
top
bottom
left.
panel, bottom panel, top
There.
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 Birds'
They look
heads.
like birds' heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to like get some
Yeah.
feeding
Okay.
on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bonkers. There's so much stuff just in that tree.
That thing at the bottom of the tree to me looks like a skull as well. Right. at the
Yeah, a
bottom.
little bit in the roots.
Yeah.
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 Right here. Yeah.
And
Just below it.
if you saw this
Yeah.
in the right
Yeah.
atmosphere,
There.
like in a horror movie or something, it's creeped the hell out of you.
Oh, that
Yeah.
it would look that panel without Tarzan would not look out of place in Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Yes.
I was just going to say, wait until October. So we'll go
Yeah.
Wait
through
until October.
some
Is
Burne
the
Wright.
guy? Is the guy who did something? Is he called John Totalban?
Toddleben.
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 Oh, right.
That's
Is
how
he,
we always pronounced it. Yeah.
is he the is he an artist?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Did he draw it when Alan Moore was doing it?
Yes, he did.
Right. That's the Swamp Thing I've seen.
Yeah.
Him and
'Cause
Steve Bissett. Bissett, I
Yeah.
think, did the pencil work. Toddleben went over
Yeah.
it with the ink work.
It started off with Wrightson, though, didn't it? The early ones,
The very early ones, yeah.
and then the saga of the Swamp Thing was when Alan Moore.
Right. That's
that
the one
team.
that's
Yeah.
the one I saw. And
I've
then-
got-
We got
I've
some
got-
comments.
I've got
coming
like
in.
12, 13 graphic novels, trade paperbacks of all those. It's
wow.
just an amazing story. It's one of the
Yep.
few stories that I could not put down. You know, and when I say that,
Hey guys,
I mean,
hey Vic,
hi Vic. When I say that, it's like
every month.
there are stories like you couldn't put Watchmen down and all the rest of it, but I'm talking across 13 volumes,
Yeah.
and every time I finished one, I'm like, I've got to read the next one. I've got to read the next one. It was just amazing, and I suppose it touched on some of the things that I really enjoy, like like cosmic horror and just esoterics and all that kind of stuff.
Is that how you pronounce esoteric? Esoteric?
Esoteric, whatever. You say
Tomato,
say
tomato.
bananas. I say bananas. It's
Aluminium.
aluminum. Yeah, that's the wrong way to say it. Yeah.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. Yeah, so it's just a fantastic run. It's just so good. Everything about it is just so wonderful. But anyway, I mean, back to this art. It's like that would not look out of place in any of that stretch.
No,
And there was some truly fabulous art in there as well.
but you could really see the influence.
Yeah, I would say not as fine
Is
as
that
this art.
No.
There is something really quite incredible about this. I wonder what size he drew this on. Maybe it
I
was
would imagine it was two up.
Yeah.
I would imagine it was on illustration board,
Mm.
just because of the line retention. Wouldn't you say, Glenn? Probably was working on illustration board at this point.
I would say so. Yeah.
Especially with the beautiful hand lettering.
That
Now,
letter is just
Now, do
incredible.
you reckon he did them as pages, or that he did them as individual illustrations, and then they cut and pasted them?
No, I think he'd
no,
do it as a page.
Right.
I
okay.
think he did it. Yeah, page up.
Okay.
How large is an illustration board?
Oh,
Well,
you
go-
can get it. You can get it 2 up size, real easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did-
size as I get it in?
What does 2 up size mean for the
About
initiating?
twice the size of what
Double
you're
of what
looking
this
at
is.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Nowadays, most comics are done about 30% larger.
yeah, 1.5, 150%.
Sometimes, if you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do mine at. Yeah.
Lately, it's been a lot of folks have worked a lot smaller.
Well,
But,
didn't we see that? Was it Alex Raymond sat at the desk with that page?
It's Hal Foster.
That was Hal Foster. That's it. It was about 3 times the size.
But
of the
that wasn't even 2 up. That was like that looked like an A1 piece of
Yeah,
paper
that was
he was using.
incredible,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's probably 48 inches tall by about 36 inches
Yeah.
wide.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
a
you wanna see
poster,
it
isn't
like-
it?
Well, you want to scan
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
yeah. It is gorgeous when you see it in person. You just can sit there
Yeah.
and stare at it for a long time. All the detail is just beautiful on that.
But could you imagine scanning that in?
Let me see if
Well,
I
it'd
can
be
What sort of
photographed, wouldn't
flatbed scanner would you need for that?
Yeah.
You would have a flatbed camera back then.
Yeah,
There'd be
yeah.
no scanners.
Oh,
yeah.
it'd be a rostrum camera. Yeah.
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 So we used to have one of those at the t-shirt shop I worked at. It was like working a periscope. You'd have 2 dials that you would turn in order to get the bottom level at the right number and the top lens at the right number.
So
And
we
you could
had something
shrink
called
that puppy way down. Yeah.
Ours was called a PMT camera.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Photo mechanical transfer.
Yeah.
And we'd use that to create layouts for product, just in brochures and stuff. And then of course if you needed artwork back before you had laser driven stuff that you got off computers, you'd actually have to create the artwork and then run it through the PMT machine, and then it basically would develop it in the dark room.
Did you ever get to be exposing slides through it?
I never did slides. No.
That was fun.
Was it?
Yeah. Anyway, there he is.
We'd put slides. We'd use slides or transparencies more. We'd call them because they were bigger than slides. We'd put those on the PMT cameras so that we could blow them up and put them into the layouts correctly, so that the art would be on point.
Well, you had to take the slide out of the little plastic holder, which isn't a good idea.
No.
But anyway, look at that page.
There's Hal Foster at
that could be AO,
Yeah.
That's very big.
But look at the stuff on the walls as well.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
I like his like it looks like a foreman in a factory, doesn't he? With that that overall on.
Yeah, I feel I should get some overalls and sit here in a tie every day.
Yeah.
Not just that, but look at how ink stained that coat is.
Yeah,
you can see it. It's probably super clean, but the ink there is indelible.
Yeah,
and he's
Just
done
incredible.
a lot. Yeah,
That's like that makes a lot of sense.
you can see where he's wiped his brush on the right hand side of the board, can't you?
yeah,
oh yeah, yep.
yeah. Didn't care
And on
about
his
it.
pants.
Just wipe it.
And his jacket. Yeah, his coat has to get that point just right. So you're
The bubble
twisting
fit-
and pulling at the same time.
The
on your brush.
caption for this picture is "My wife made me wear it," because he's got his suit on. I've got shirts with ink all over them as well. And I lean over, I've suddenly got a red splodge. It looks like I've spilled my dinner on it. You know.
Back then,
Just
that
catch
might
up.
have been standard fare for going, into your studio.
Yeah.
But you see, everybody dressed for work back then. Everybody
Yeah.
dressed for all kinds of different reasons.
Even though he's at home.
And even
though he's at
even though back then the world was a bit stuck up, there were good things about it.
Yeah.
Like
Smart.
self-discipline and
Yeah.
being proud of things, not in a bad way, but
Exactly.
just a little taking pride in what you did and how you presented yourself.
Yeah.
Finely trimmed mustaches and
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't get away. I'm unemployable now, let alone then.
I used to wear a tie at a place I used to work, and I was the last male to stop wearing a tie. Even the MD, when this open collar thing came through, everybody lost the ties, and everybody used to come to me because they thought I was the manager.
There you go.
Because you had a tie on.
Yeah,
You had a
'cause I had
tie
a
on,
tie
yeah.
on.
No, last time I wore a tie for work would have been when I was working in banks in like late 80s.
Right.
Since then, I've been working in studios or at home. So it's either been, like T-shirts and jeans or pants.
Yeah. That's about 3 foot wide by 4 foot tall, I would imagine. And you could get illustration board that was double up that size. You
Well,
just cut it.
from UK, Europe sizes, I reckon that's very close. Not quite, but very close to AO.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
use a 17 by 11, is it?
Yeah.
Or 11 by 17?
11
which
by
is,
17, yeah.
Which is just slightly smaller or slightly thinner than A3 over here, which is what I use to draw pages, what we use to draw pages. So that would be nearly four times that board size.
But back then, the tabloid size newspapers were about half of that.
Well, that's right. Yeah, over here, the Guardian
And
used
it
to
would
be
take
huge,
up the whole
didn't it?
page. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would take up the whole page and be in dot color.
Amazing to think
CMYK.
the Guardian has turned into an establishment rag. There you go.
Anyway,
I got my job from the Guardian. The job that I got that sent me on my career in the end was from an advert in the Guardian, because you used to go to, was it Design Week? I think it was Design Week or the Guardian for creative jobs back in the day.
There you go.
There you go. I used to get the Guardian quite regularly.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that snake! Look at that! Wow!
Wow.
Damn.
Oh, it's got that monkey. No, it's got the monkey.
Got nothing to
Is he
hide
saving
except
them?
me and
Oh,
my
he's
monkey.
saving the monkey. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's best buddies. Probably
Yeah.
his best friend.
So this guy he dates monkeys and hangs out with snakes.
Yeah.
This is before he knew there were other people. Once he figured out there were other people as hairless as he was, he took to Jane.
Is this some kind of? I have a joke there, but it's not safe for work.
I wonder where he got. I wonder where he got his knickers from.
Yeah.
Off a
Probably
leopard.
from somewhere. He's been watching Loose Women.
No, he would see the natives cover themselves and decided
right.
that it was time for him to do that too.
But he couldn't. But he couldn't work out that he looked more like them than he did an ape.
Yeah.
And he's definitely got a gusset going on there, so it's very fine workmanship on the pants.
Well, I always used to wonder that about. Do you remember that great panel that Ditko did of Peter Parker with his needle and thread stitching his costume? They were all good at making costumes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just put a balaclava on and leave it at that.
They eventually had a Flash issue where they showed that there was a guy out there that was a tailor that made all the suits for him.
God. Look at that, the way that snake's moving on that.
Yeah.
You can see it moving, can't you?
It's almost like one of those pictures that when you look at them, they move.
Yeah.
It's just you can see it writhing. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. Contrasted against the vines and the branches here. Blends in.
Wow.
Here's 2 pages of Man versus Snake.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not really fair, is it? Because the snake's got to eat as well.
Jungle. Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just eating his mate, isn't he? So he's got to do something about it.
I know, yeah.
It's got him in his coils there.
He probably wouldn't. He wouldn't want to kill him. He
No.
wouldn't just turn up and go, "I'm going to kill that snake."
No.
Wow. Look at that.
I ate that snake.
And again, not afraid to take the difficult shot to bend the body any way it needs to go.
Jesus. I was looking at something else for a second. I look over and it's
Man versus Snake.
Man versus snake.
But all the effort in the pen work as well on the snake. God.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
All that detail. That's love right there. That's what that is. Love of illustration, love of doing what he does.
Hopefully not love of snakes.
Because at this point, he didn't have to take the time to do this. He was already making a living. You know, it's not like he was hard pressed against a deadline. But
you see, that's that is some of it. Like you've seen my style change, for instance, because we wanted to do this Shadow Kingdom thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's because I've given myself the time to do it. Right.
Yeah.
You try and put your best work in, but if you're on a schedule, you do cut back.
Yeah.
And you restrict. You do the best work you can in that moment, and some of it's your best work. Simply because it's flowing so well, but that doesn't mean it's the stuff that you've poured the most love into.
Mhm.
And you can see that with this. He's absolutely loving it. and fully aware it's going to be black and white as well, because look how dense it is.
I don't know if that was the case with this or not. I don't
No,
know if they were
just-
talking about doing it in color or
Wow, really?
if he really did this intentionally as a black and white.
Because
Yeah,
color would have ruined it.
it sure would have. That's why I wanted to get to this book over top of the Tarzan of the Apes, because I think some of the colors on that printed off a bit garish.
I think it's great the way that he's continued to draw the detail on that snake panel after panel. He's not sort of give the suggestion of it and then left a lot out. He's done it every time.
There's no shortcuts there, is it?
No, it's just
Some of that watercolor can get a little loud at times. I mean, that's a beautiful page. Don't get me wrong. But
that's probably the reproduction as well, though, isn't it?
that could be too. Yeah, the best that they could do at the time.
I prefer it in black and white.
Yeah.
Look at that. Amazing.
Just classic.
Just the jungle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who was drawing the jungle and stuff in that in the Swamp Thing must have been looking at some of this.
Yeah.
Because it's so similar.
We were saying last week about the composition of these panels as well. It's just absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And those, I love those in that second panel on the left-hand page. That plant, that plant that's sort of open, you know, not too. And the right-hand page at the top on the edge, he's left a lot of it open, so it doesn't take away from, take away from the drawing.
Oh no, just very much so.
Just
Everything's
brilliant.
heavy. Yeah,
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
There's no other adjective for it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how long it took him to draw
God.
these things.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get to things like this, it doesn't matter how quick. Like, for instance, we all marvel at what Kirby and Buscema used to pump out.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, like Buscema used to pump out 6 or 7 sketches a day, didn't he, of pages for other layouts for other people to go over the top of.
Yeah.
And that in itself is amazing because it's like it's the storytelling process, which for me, that is the hardest part, is transferring the words you're given into sequential art. Yeah. Without getting involved, getting bogged down in details, or whether it's anatomy or whatever the things might be, just getting that flow of storytelling right.
Well, if you work in so-called Marvel method, you haven't got a script, have you?
Exactly, yeah. But you still that flow. That's really hard. That's the hardest part. It's the skill. That's the art.
Yeah.
That is the art of it. And then you look at Kirby's stuff as well and how much he pumped out. But there comes a point, no matter how quick you are or how slow you are, that when you're putting in the kind of detail you see here on a large board, there's only so fast you can work.
Yeah.
Because if you're literally filling in all those areas and you're not filling it in with black, you're actually filling it in with texture. It's going to take you a long time. It doesn't matter who you are. It's going to take you a long time.
Right.
The way that he creates the feathering on the apes as well is lovely.
Yeah.
See a lot of Kubert.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Whole lot of it.
He does a lot of texture, doesn't he? In his rendering. You know, the snake is different from Tarzan, is different from the ape. You know,
Different from the branches.
Yeah, from the vegetation. Yeah.
Vegetation.
But that bottom panel there, where he's looking, that one, and that lovely water down there, and that again, one of them plants, open plants again.
Yep.
Brilliant
Wide open
composition.
space. Just an outline in the back, just to show you that the jungle goes on. You know, simple line work. Don't need much more because of all of this. That's really where your eye is focused at. Framed.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, just beautiful. Okay, you think that's impressive? You think that's impressive?
It just gets better.
Oh, God.
Look at that water moving. Look.
Oh.
Well.
You know, Stalin was looking at this as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the fingers in that.
Yeah.
It looks like a bony hand on the left hand side, on the right page on the left hand side. Looks like a bony hand. just gorgeous. And in black and white, without shade, just lines, he is popping out from the inside of the tree. That's just...
It's all line work here.
Yeah.
No gray tones. It's all line work.
Look at all the faces in there as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the bits and pieces. There's elephants, there's birds.
Yeah.
On the left-hand tree, I can see elephants and birds and all kinds of stuff in there.
A couple of apes there. There's the.
It's like a sort of
swans.
like a Where's Wally page, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know, trying to find stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
Paulus Arts is with us. Hey, Paulus.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
It's called Waldo in America, is he?
Yeah, it is. Where's Waldo?
The geezer with a stripy shirt.
Yeah.
Wally.
Yeah, where's Wally?
Where's Wally?
Should be Wallace Wood in there, shouldn't it? Where's Wally?
Where's Wallace? Where's Wally? Wally Wood.
We'll look at more of him too soon. Look at little berries.
Look at that eye there, where your finger was then.
There's an eye up there.
There's
Top
eyes
left.
all through this. Yeah.
Top left. There's an eye above the grapes or whatever they are, above the oranges.
Almost looks like a lizard there. Look at quick.
Just keep going. There's an eye there.
Yeah,
Can
there's
see
an
that
eye. There's an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's an eye in here.
Yeah.
No,
No, above it. Just above it, between the branches. Just above. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
At the bottom there, where your
right here.
fingers were. Yes. Yeah. Is a hand coming out of an alien, isn't it? Type of thing.
There's a lot of hands in here.
Like a lizard.
Yep.
Just gorgeous.
And then some berries or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vegetation.
Barry's.
Berries.
Where's Barry?
Underneath the eye.
Barry's not here.
There is no Barry.
I don't get the joke. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
You don't have to. It's okay. We appreciate you're Canadian. It's not your fault.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
You're doing so
Avalanche.
well.
Sorry, folks.
You were doing well there. But Mike,
So you mentioned Canada and then bad things happen.
Absolutely.
That's it exactly.
Perfect.
Suddenly we're on
Absolutely
fire.
perfect angle now, though. How's that?
Yeah.
Randy?
Don't move
it now.
I'm not moving it. I nudged it in order to try to get to the comments before Whiskey said something. Hogarth gets a lot of undeserved hate. Yes, he does.
You mentioned Canada and there's a tornado.
Exactly.
Oh, Canada.
Hail, gents. Hail.
Trying to get to the comments.
Arts. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're looking at Burne Hogarth, Jungle Tales of Tarzan.
Ooh, look at those hands. Look at that. Wow.
Hands.
And again, faces. The trees are alive.
Beautiful.
He should have drawn Submariner, shouldn't he?
Yeah, you would have been good at that. Yeah. Namor.
I'm sure Namor. Yeah, I'm sure Everett grew up with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the 20s when Hogarth was doing Tarzan.
Look at that face, that horse. It's a horse, isn't it? With we see the owl on the right-hand page in that little hole next to Tarzan.
Right
that one. Look up just above it. It's like a horse's head.
On the left.
Right here.
On the left, yeah.
Yep, I see what you mean. It does. It looks exactly like a horse's head.
And then look above to the right of the monkey. Is that a face in the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
To the right of the monkey.
To where the monkey's looking.
That's
there,
it, yeah.
There.
Right there.
That's bonkers looking.
Yeah.
Could be Swamp Thing right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just so wonderful what he's been
Have
doing.
we seen this one page before or something very similar?
Yeah, I'm sure we've seen some of that before. The one with the two swans we've seen.
Yeah,
before.
we saw that. Yeah.
I think they used that as a back page. Yeah. No, they didn't. There's
Because
that
remember
ear
the
coloring
owl.
again.
Yes.
Yeah, we have looked at it before. I think we took a couple of quick looks on our way out.
Is that just sorry, Randy, just go back. Look at the left-hand page where he's swimming, where the hands are. Is that letter in there, or is it just the design? It looks like it's saying something.
It does. There's like a
Does,
sound
doesn't it?
effect running here.
But hold on.
It's the M's and O's.
Bula Matalamu something. Maybe it's Swahili
don't
or
say it
something.
out loud.
Swahili.
Too loud. You'll end
No,
up.
serious. Maybe
causing a rift.
maybe it is Swahili or something like that. Maybe
Yeah, it
he's
could be.
gone some research and got a word.
Just I don't know,
But
take a
that's all-
screenshot and then fill it in later.
That's all.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Swamp Thing as well.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
All the little line work here underneath. Yep.
Wow. Sorry, Randy. Just go back. I just saw something. This is quite. I don't know whether this is just me seeing this, but I just didn't compute for a second. See, if you look at the text, it said, "And what was God?" Right? It's thinking about God. It's got no conception of God.
Oh
right?
yeah.
But look what he's reaching for.
The sun.
It's like he's reaching for apples.
Right, he's reaching for an
Right.
apple. Yeah, where
You know-
where the lizard is, which is a serpent.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I
There's
wonder
so
if-
much symbolism
Yeah.
involved
Yeah.
in this, in all of the
Look-
drawings.
Are those eggs?
Down here, yes.
Are they eggs?
Yes, they are.
Looks like eggs.
Oh, I thought they were sort of.
One of
apple
them's
things.
got something growing
Yeah,
out of
it's
it.
got a.
It's cracking.
Oh right, okay.
So maybe it's a dead egg and then the plant has grown through it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly right.
Dead egg.
That
A bad egg. A bad egg.
that egg. Yeah.
And then on the left page of like
And
You
the
can
flowers.
almost-
And the flowers. Who made them grow?
on the left page there, you got the sun and then I guess he's swimming, so that's probably like algae or something, right? And but it
Yeah.
almost looks like an ovum and like
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is exactly what you were saying, Glenn. This is him grabbing and wrapping his head around the concept of God.
Yes. Fabulous. Wow.
Tarzan the intellectual. The
He's
philosopher.
maturing, isn't he?
Yes.
he's really smart. Like just pure genius. He's learning languages from like just looking at some pages.
He's
Yeah.
learning to keep off the apes.
Hopefully not date anymore in the future.
They never send flowers.
Cat web. Wow. And it's got that little butterfly thing, that spider, hasn't it?
Everything from
Yeah. got his
butterfly, the web,
he's got his dinner there.
animals here.
Wow.
Oh,
Speaking about dinner,
look at the way that he's drawn those beautiful cats. Wow.
He had made Sheeta, the panther, with his beautiful coat, and Numa, the lion, with his noble head and shaggy mane. He had made Bara, the deer, lovely and graceful.
Jahuli, the naughty.
What were you saying, Whiskey?
I said speaking about dinner, completely off topic, but like I was looking at like an 18th century like cooking recipe. I tried
Right.
it out for dinner.
As you do.
As you do. Oh, it's fun. But it basically said to thicken the soup or whatever stew to add bread to it. So I'm like, okay. So I added bread to it. And then now basically I'm eating beef porridge. Like it just,
Yeah.
That'll do it.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't turn out the way you
No,
expected.
no. Well, I'm surprised they said. I'm surprised they said bread. You'd have thought they'd just
Well,
chuck some leeches in it because that's
yeah,
what they
but
used to do with everything, isn't it?
There's a clue, you see. There's a clue that it's from 1848 and they don't eat it anymore. Look at the lovely weight on those legs on the left hand side. That black, that dark, thick line he's got. Yeah, isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. Yep. Rue
And the-
Kentuck's in the house. Thanks for joining us, Rue.
And
Thanks for
the
finding us.
real
Rue.
what's the word? The fineness of the web
Oh yeah.
against him.
Yeah.
You know, tough and strong with those thick lines. The delicate web.
Yeah.
He's got his toe round the vine. Look, he's got his right foot. His toe, the vine is in his toe. The other side, look at that. Where he's hanging on.
That looks uncomfortable. I can't stand flip flops, let alone a whole vine.
It's like that. What's it called? Breakfast Club episode, or not episode, but movie where he's talking about making spaghetti with his feet.
Don't know. I've never seen the Breakfast.
You never
Club.
seen the Breakfast Club? Well, there you go. There's an afternoon for you.
I've
You
never
want
seen
an
the
obscure
Breakfast
80s
Club,
reference that you haven't
Absolute
yet?
Beginners, St Elmo's Fire.
No, I've never seen those.
None of
You
that.
want you want to watch Jack Lemmon in the apartment making spaghetti with a tennis racket.
There you go. Yeah.
He strains it. He strains it through the tennis
it's a
racket. Brilliant.
Oh, dear.
All of those John Hughes films, though, are such
Mm.
classics. Just
Yeah.
amazing that they were done in the time that they were done and how easily taken for granted they
Yeah.
were at the time. You sit back and you look at them now and you go, that's really good stuff.
I want to watch Irma La Douce. I've not seen that for 50 years. It's a really
Yeah.
good film.
Irma what?
Irma La Douce
Irma La Deuce.
with
Never
Shirley
heard of it.
MacLaine. It's fantastic.
All right.
Well, Shirley MacLaine's fantastic in
Yeah.
everything anyway. So
Until recently, when she's been Joan of Arc reborn and Cleopatra reborn.
yeah.
It's funny how these people are always famous people. They're never some 2-year-old kid that got stuck up a chimney, are they?
That's the Howard Hughes, Michael Jackson effect. You get enough money, you can lose your mind.
Did you see what Ricky Gervais said about it? He went to a party where the people who genuinely thought they were reincarnated. He said, so there were just the 2 Napoleons.
That's great.
Oh dear. I'm a firm believer in something else going on, which could well include reincarnation. But if you think any of you out there have a clue what's going on, you
Yeah.
are
Well,
you're kidding
watch-
yourself.
A long
Watch
time
the
ago,
latest Y-Files episode they posted last night.
when Madonna first was around in the late 80s, she said that she was Marilyn Monroe reincarnated, but she obviously doesn't understand what reincarnation is, because when she was born in 1958, Marilyn was still alive, so she
Yes.
couldn't be reincarnated, could she?
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
that's because she's an idiot. It's pretty simple.
She's certainly simple.
She's like, I'll give her a due. She's a fantastic marketer. She's done extremely well. She's got an average voice, and she's sold herself. What a fantastic woman! What a fantastic talent as far as marketing is concerned. But from a perfectly human perspective, she's an idiot.
Have
And
you
I don't
seen him?
give a
And
stuff
quite
about her.
frankly, Dick Tracy would not have been the same without her.
No.
Yeah.
But I just all these people are lost. They are
Yes.
lost. I feel
You get
sorry
enough-
for
like I
them.
said, you get enough money, you lose
Yeah.
your mind.
They are lost human souls, and I really feel for them. But they're all adult pretenders, and they don't mean a bloody thing more than the rest of us.
Adult
I don't
pretenders,
like
they're
celebrity.
adult potatoes.
Adult potatoes, yeah. I'm not. I like that. That was a good Canadian thing, wasn't it? Adult potatoes. No,
Morning, all.
not a fan of the adult pretenders at all, especially when they start telling you what they think, because most of the time is pretty stupid.
Yeah,
But
don't drive your car. I've got to go now to get my private jet to New York.
Exactly, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what, you know.
yeah.
But don't drive that car.
Don't drive
Go
that
green.
car, you'll kill someone. Yeah. All right, mate.
Or go over to the Green Summit on your yacht.
Yeah,
It's not just that. It's the preachiness, and like you say, it's
Yeah.
because people get. There's very few people who can take that kind of money and fame and not turn into a complete prize.
So it's a
killer.
lot of pressure. It's a lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Of
I've got no.
really
I've got
test
no.
your sanity to be able to have everything.
That's
I've got
right.
no respect for anybody who goes to on a pilgrimage and calls their daughter Lourdes. When the pronunciation is Lords.
I used
It's
to
not
like.
Lourdes.
I used to like listening to Michael Caine, because he was on an interview once, and they were saying, well, you know, you've made some really great films, and some films have not been so good. And you went, yeah, that's right. And he said, for instance, why did you make X film? And he said, because my wife wanted a new swimming pool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
even somebody as posh as Sir Laurence Olivier turned around and said, are you joking? It's not a hard job. We get up and we pretend for a living.
Yeah.
Sort your
Yeah.
life out. You know, he didn't say it in that way. I'm paraphrasing. He was
Yeah.
much posher than that. But he was grounded. Even though he was posh, he was based. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Think how lucky you are that you get to do this for a living. You know.
Yeah.
Well, is Henry VIII or was it Henry? No, Henry V. I'm pretty sure it was fifth.
What's a few numbers?
Henry
Whatever.
V.
The Shakespearean classic he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
That's
Henry
great.
V, yeah.
There you go. There is lettering in there.
There
What does it say?
It says nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right in English, they're nightmare. Yeah.
But that
The
other
the
one, I reckon
nightmare.
that was foreign. I reckon that was possibly
Yeah.
Swahili or some kind of dialect.
Probably was, yeah.
Yeah. He's
And
gone and
there he is.
researched it and put it in.
yeah, and there he is with the snake that we were
Yeah.
saying about
But
Garden of Eden.
But that snake is
Fire.
being nice to because it's not killing his monkey mate.
Right.
He's just playing with the snake.
Yeah, but he's gonna whack it, isn't he?
No, I think that generally
Can't hurt it much with that stick.
I think he's generally portraying the fact that he's
Yeah.
just playing
He's-
with an
He's
animal.
saying,
You know,
he's
just,
saying to it, "I just kill your dad. Be careful.
don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me, shrimp. I've just killed your dad."
Just poke him with a stick.
Yeah,
Which one of us doesn't have a dad? Both of us. Or something.
Levi, I'm really glad you were able to catch us live again.
Yeah.
So, always happy to have you here. Anytime you want to come on and talk with us, you're more than welcome. So, it's been a while since Levi was able to.
when he sent that page in there with that fire at the bottom, that fire wasn't there, and the editor said, "There's only half a page, and I'm only giving you half a check." He said, "Oh, well, just draw some fire in there."
There's some fire.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, again, look
That
at how
face.
dense the skin is of the
Yeah.
tribespeople. How he's made that difference in density.
I'll tell you somebody else who was looking at this. It seems to me with that panel with all those native black guys there. You'll know him, Russ. Ron Embleton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know Ron Embleton. He used to
Yeah.
draw Stingray, paint Stingray. He was a painter, wasn't he, rather than a comic artist?
Really, yeah.
And he used to depict black people like that in a lot of his stuff. But he would always do them in color, but they had that density and that black in them like that.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised that Ron Embleton had seen this stuff and thought that's.
I
that's
used to
a
love
great
the way, especially Buscema would do this, but there were several other artists that would do it. That when they showed the difference in skin tone, there would just be that little bit more shading,
Yeah,
and it was enough that, along with the fact that they had features, correct,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
the racial features, that you could look at it and you knew who all these
Yeah.
people were, all their backgrounds. You could see if someone was Asian or was African in descent or was European in descent. Beautifully done and so simply done.
Yeah, and all the postures as well. 'Cause
Yeah,
different cultures have different postures, don't
That's
they?
right. Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good observation that they were doing. People like Ron Embleton and this guy, obviously, because those guys are obviously native African natives. Let's call it that. I'm not being disrespectful there.
No, that's what they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're Aboriginal people. Yeah. Yeah,
Fantastic.
no, and it's being able to
Bringing
pick
that
those
body
kind of differences
forward.
out, and
the texture of their skin and it's wonderful.
but the texture in this whole book, it's just full of texture, isn't it?
What do they?
Yeah.
What do you think they're eating there? What's for dinner?
in the pot, I think
they're
it's probably Admiral Nelson.
It's probably a bit of snake.
Probably.
Yeah,
There was enough of it to go round.
Yeah,
Okay, there's a plate. There's a plate of food there. What is that? Meat
Yeah.
or potatoes or
Bit of
fruit?
one of that guy at the top saying, I found this snake this morning that somebody killed. Let's eat that.
Excellent. The great thing about snake is you can just chop it up and you've got instant snake burgers, haven't you? They're great.
That says it was well past midnight before Tarzan even could begin to see the end of the orgy. The blacks were falling asleep, just a few still persisted.
Wow.
2 all snake burgers, cheese, pickles, onions in a sesame seed bun.
Well, I would imagine this guy here is tripping.
Tripping.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
He's doing something.
tripping
isn't he?
balls.
He's trying to walk up.
That's
the
what it
wall.
looks like to me.
Tripping balls.
So you know how they say
Hardballs. Yeah.
they say orgy, right? In that, but
did.
it doesn't necessarily mean what one would think it means because
Yeah,
technically
exactly.
I
it
think
means a group of people without
Yeah.
socks on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think orgy, the word orgy has had sexual connotations because
It's been
people
bent over the
honestly
years.
call it a sexual orgy, but the word orgy is simply a group.
people without socks.
Yeah, it's a group of people doing something.
Imagine this goes back to the original text too that was written back in the
Yeah,
20s.
it says orgy, a wild party characterized by excessive drinking and indiscriminate sexual activity.
Oh, well, there you go. So they've actually chucked the sex in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was
they've
back,
changed
you
the
know, like
definition
you used
over the
to,
years.
the word gay, for instance, you can't say gay without it having homosexual connotation. Now,
Yes.
that's
Where
just
does
the
the
way it
no
is.
socks come from then?
But it used to be, gay was literally just happy.
Well, even at the end of the
That was what it was.
Flintstones, the song says "Have a gay old time."
Have a gay old time. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says here as well, orgies, it says it's to do with Bacchus, the Greek and Roman deities, and celebrated with dancing, drunkenness, and singing.
Yeah.
So that orgy didn't have sex in it. It was just dancing, drunkenness, and singing.
Yeah. Plus the
There
fact
you
there's no women around anyway.
No,
Mind you don't. I don't suppose you need
you're
women there, do you?
You're making a presumption. Then.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Although someone had to
Moving-
be their mum. So
Moving along.
Yes. They're all going, "Where's Mum?"
where's mum? Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this.
So according to the Janus Files Alabama law, orgy is consisted of 5 barefoot people in bed.
Right, if you think I'm listening to Alabama law,
There you go. I
So
think
if-
Alabama, they'd call that family reunion.
Yeah. Can I hear banjos?
ding 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 ding.
Straight out of
Sorry,
the brain.
stereotype. Sorry,
So
folks.
is
if you're
it? So
in
is if
Alabama.
there's only 4 in there, it don't count.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No,
That's
that's just
okay.
insane.
4 is fine. 4
Four
is
is
fine.
Family gathering.
That's great. Humour's
dear.
humour, mate. Just like
Oh.
anybody out there, if you can't deal with it, don't listen.
Sorry, folks. Oh, we could always run our little disclaimer.
Just let them get over it. No. Did anybody die?
Did planes fall out of the sky? No.
Yeah, whoops.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
No,
Except that last joke. Nita wrote that one for us.
yeah, no, that's a lie. Randy's responsible for everything. Blame Randy.
Yeah.
Randy's responsible for everything.
I just slipped out. It's 5. It's almost 6 in the morning here. So. Sorry, folks. Little vine wrapped around its toe here.
Yeah.
Was
All
he
sorts of
trying to eat
wonderful
the?
little
Oh, he's drinking the sauce.
Yeah.
And looking at this, how finely that's inked, that really reminds me a lot of Russ Manning. It's just stark inking. We'll look at his stuff too, coming up. Just great. Today's Hogarth, though.
And that
Just
classic
incredible. He
pose.
seems to move
Yeah.
with the opposite of the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That classic pose as well, top left there, where he's swinging in.
Yeah.
On the left-hand page, yeah. The classic
here.
Tarzan. Yeah.
But this is definitely, and this is not a criticism. This is just an observation, because this is all beautiful and gorgeous. This is not sequential art.
No. It's illustration.
No.
It's illustrations, because the text is definitely moving the movement.
Yes.
It's rather than what's going on from
it's
panel to
determining the
panel.
action, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just beautiful. It's sequential illustrations. How's
Yes.
that?
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely wonderful, though.
Still, it's it's a form of comics. Pictures and words combined into a
What
story.
would you think of a comic that was like this now?
If it was drawn as well as this, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
It's about if the story's good and the art is good,
It works.
It doesn't have to be perfect sequential art. That's not to say if you're going to do sequential art, it's got to be good for me personally. If it doesn't tell a story, I'm not interested. But if you're going to do it in this style where it's more sequential illustrations, that's fine as well, as long as it's all good.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me.
Modern readers, though, would look at this and go, "Oh, what a trudge! Look at all of that, all those words."
Yeah. Well, what you say that. Look at some of the books that we've had and all the dumps that have been.
Yeah. Look at Chris Claremont would be good at this, wouldn't he?
Yeah, like
Don McGregor. Material,
and what's his face? He went from Marvel to DC.
It cuts it down a bit.
Did the Superman run for a while?
John Byrne?
No, more recently than that. I can never remember his name. Bald fella. He went to Super Sons and then ruined it. Aged up John Kent.
Turned him gay.
Yeah, no, he didn't. No, he was the big Bendis. That's it. There you go.
Oh,
now Bendis. It's like Bendis. It's just text on text on text. I mean, his early stuff or his mid stuff was really quite good, but
which is it's funny because he's going to go down in comic history as one of the proponents for decompressed storytelling.
Yeah,
how to take a 6-page story and stretch it out over 6 issues.
Yeah, which is why you're losing customers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
No. Mind you, saying that, I do think just a slight diversion from what we're on. I do think you have to deal with the industry as it is, and floppies are not coming back in the way that they were. You've got to be looking at graphic novels because it's just people have been turned off by it. It's not to say they won't still sell and there won't still be fans. For instance, Perfect 10 is by Dave Brink is something that I'm following, and I will be buying all his floppies because I just think they're magnificent.
Yeah,
but it's not. I can't go to a comic store anymore and be interested in the current crop because I know it's just this extended storytelling.
Yeah.
Whereas I could go and buy an old book, an old floppy from like 20 years ago or even further, and know that I'm going to get a story pretty much in each floppy.
Yeah, we looked on eBay last week and found this book for $30.
What, this book you've got right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
they had a buy it now price of $30 American dollars. Yeah.
You're 30 of your American dollars.
I wonder how much it was when it came out.
Dollars.
It was probably $30 then.
I can tell you. Right there. Hang on. There.
$5.95. Which is probably the equivalent of $30 now.
Yeah. That's free, isn't it? $5.95.
It is free. $5.95 is like free. People buy copies for that price.
I believe I spent $20 on this. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. It's a lovely book.
Yeah. But it's because I found it in a box on the floor at a convention. The guy didn't know what it was. I'm looking at it and going, that can't be what I think it is. Because that was one of those books that you only heard about, Well, if you like Tarzan of the Apes, there's a black and white, Jungle Tales out there somewhere. And there it was. I was like, yeah, gotta have it.
It's like you were the Indiana Jones
Look at that.
of comic book sales.
Yeah.
You found it. Did you have to put a little bag of sand on the stand?
No,
so that you could
but that's why I tell everybody you want to read some of this stuff, go visit your local retailer and look at those boxes on the floor that have a little bit of dust on them, because you never know what great stuff is going to be in there.
I got the in one of those boxes at a convention. I got the first appearance of the Blob in the X-Men. I think I got it for £1. It's worth about 60. It's worth about £60 now.
Look at the 2 pages just seem to blend together.
Yeah.
Arch.
Wonderful. It's quite sprightly for I didn't know lion climbs trees.
They're cats. Yeah.
But lions don't climb trees, do they? You never see a lion up a tree.
I've seen.
Well,
I haven't seen one personally, no, but I've
That's
seen.
what you do. You run to the trees. You run up
Yeah.
the tree so the lion can't catch you because you're up a tree. And then while you're up there, the leopard gets you.
Yeah.
Well, they'll take their claws and climb up the trunk a bit, but
Or the
they
snake.
don't go very far. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them go up the trunks. They're like loggers, aren't they? They're just like
Yeah.
wrap their arms.
Yeah.
But they don't go right to the top, do they?
They're tree huggers.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Sleep all night and work all day.
It's still early in the morning where Russ is too, by the way. Oh, not quite that early.
It's never too early to put your high heels on.
Never too early to do
Jesus.
a Monty Python reference.
Well, I'm just
lion
convinced
here
everybody's on drugs.
It's on fire.
No, we're just drunk on life.
Drunk on life.
We're drunk on Burne Hogarth's artwork.
Drunk on Hogarth.
Look at that. Wow.
At the top of the hour, folks, if you're out there watching us, hit that like button. Even if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that button. All those algorithms help us out. We're always archived over at the Indie Comics Network on Russ's Black Belt, Comic Book Black Belt channel and the Randy Zim channel over on YouTube. You can find all that over there.
That's keeping my channel alive. I haven't been putting anything on it. I've got to change that. I've got to put some stuff up.
Yeah, it's climbing the tree.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Rawr.
Your lunch
It
is
makes-
up there.
Makes
Yeah.
4 fabulous panels.
Looking for lunch.
There you go. And he's been saved by the eagles. It's Lord of the Rings.
Vultures. No, those were owls in Lord of the Rings.
No, they were eagles.
Yeah,
Were they?
that
I'll
lion.
believe
That lion's too human for me. The way his legs are working and wrapping around. Yeah, it's I'm not having this. This is too far fetched.
I'm not having this.
Not having this.
No. He's blown it now. He's blown
That's
it.
what Glenn says. I'm not having this.
I'm not having this.
I'm sure he's just following the book here.
Just
Except
think of
the
this. Just
bird
think
here
of
seems to be on fire.
if this was a Marvel comic, that last panel there where the birds grab him, it'd say squawk, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right across it and ruin it.
Yeah.
That's squawk.
It's
I tell you,
ba-
sorry, whiskey. That last panel, Randy, that to me looks like Blastar, that lion with that hair, with his mane. It was like Blastar. I grab you. Sorry, whiskey. Go
Blastar.
ahead.
Yeah.
it's not a lion. It's a furry in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blastar. It's Blastar's other cousin, apart from Ulick.
Very, very early example of
You
cosplay.
lick. You
Yes.
lick your bum.
That's the one.
So come back. We have to go follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
It's strange.
How's he holding him? Is he sticking his talons in him? What's he
Yeah.
doing?
He's got his claws in it.
Wow.
There's an infection. Then he dies.
Till he
Yeah.
kicks
No,
his
he's
way
being,
free.
look, he's being very careful.
Yes.
He hasn't pierced the skin.
Yeah.
Look at that on that left-hand page where he's holding him. Look at the shadow on the top of his leg.
Here.
Tarzan's
Which-
leg. Yeah, the
Oh,
shadow
it's
there.
lovely, isn't it?
Isn't that?
Yeah.
How good is that?
Yep.
This is what I keep saying about putting blacks in. Nothing's black. There should always be bits of light in there, and that really works really well.
Oh yeah.
Is it me, or is it not as finely drawn now? That especially that on that right-hand page at the top, that bird.
It's
The
a
whole
lot
thing.
more open here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bird's
Yeah,
got
it's a little tighter
thicker
there.
lines to it and more
Yep.
broad strokes. Yeah.
Is it saving him, or is it going to eat him?
Probably yes to both. Saved
Right.
him from the lion, but saved him from
The enemy
So he-
of my enemy.
Yeah.
I've got some kids that'll think you're a big worm. Come on.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what a lot of that pulp writing was like. Oh, look at this.
Here we go. This is back to normal.
It's another just great page there. Hopefully sitting framed in somebody's library.
Hopefully. One would
Oh,
hope.
could you imagine that being on your wall? God damn it.
Yeah. you know, right now, if I had that on my wall, I'd be looking at it, putting it in the bank. If you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying.
If you had that on your wall, you'd be taking a photograph of it and going, "Look, my butler just put this on the wall after he brought it home in my limousine." I know what your game is.
I don't even have that much art in my walls. I got like just like a bin of comic books.
Well, it's pumping. What's going on?
Yeah, who's fighting the microphone?
Is that your mic, Whiskey?
That was my mic. I was like holding it, and then I twisted it accidentally. The cap came off, so I had to twist it back up.
Only in Canada.
Only in Canada. There's no.
Oh, Canada.
There's nothing dirty about that at all. Just the cap came off the mic.
We didn't think there was.
No.
There's that snake again. He's come back with a different head.
It's like he's got a demon dragon head.
Oh yeah, look at that. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
He could be
Wow.
tripping from the orgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tripping
Who, the
balls.
snake or Tarzan?
That would explain a lot.
Everything's on
As he
fire. I
thought
guess.
deeply from the strange occurrences of the night, he is tripping. He witnessed another remarkable happening. It was indeed quite preposterous. Yet he saw it all with his own eyes. It was nothing less than Hista, the snake, winding his sinuous way up the bole of the tree below him. Hista, with the head of an old man, of the old man of the cooking pot. That's exactly what's happening. He's tripping.
It's tripping, yeah.
Tripping balls.
The thoughtful, as the frightful face come close to Tarzan, the jaws opened to seize him. The ape man raised his weapon to strike at the hideous face. So the ape man struck furiously. The apparition disappeared.
Wow.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Native spiked his punch.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah.
That's that
Especially,
great. Have you ever
especially when you
seen
live in the jungle.
Love Actually?
So it's 11 different
I
herbs and
was
spices.
thinking exactly the same thing, Russ.
Yes,
Don't-
such a
don't-
good.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Yeah, that's such
Be
a
a
good.
pop star. Don't
Well,
buy drugs.
Yeah, it's well, ant or deck.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this: don't buy drugs, kids. Become a rock star. They buy them for you. You get them for free.
Yeah.
That's just
As
that's
someone
probably
who's
the best
made-
bit in the whole movie. That is.
As someone who's played many a show, this is not true. Nobody buys you free drugs.
Look at that. It's just amazing. Even after the page where he's tripping.
Oh yeah, like you see it in his eyes. It's like he's had enough.
Yeah.
I've tripped enough now. It's all over.
That's where he realizes.
Probably
hey,
DMT as well.
I'm tripping balls.
Yeah, it's probably DMT. He's going to start seeing the machine elves soon. Joe Rogan's on the next page.
Are you talking about that?
That's lovely.
Joe Rogan.
This
Look
looks
at
like he's
this,
got
look
a.
at this great contrast here between all of this detail
Yeah.
sitting here and all the thin lines
Yeah,
down in the distance. Just phenomenal.
an education in how to do distance. Yeah,
Another great page.
Look at the top panel there on the left. Just looks hungover.
oh,
Yeah.
he's out of it, isn't he? He's
He is.
He's had a hard night.
He's had the
thinking,
DTs. He's done.
I've got to find a Starbucks now.
Pretty
Some
much.
bacon and eggs.
No
Bacon
tomato
and
juice in the
coffee.
jungle.
Coffee.
No Bloody Marys.
Coffee.
At least he knew enough to rehydrate. Let's do a river there. The beautiful, just stark solids here. That ape.
That's a bit dodgy storytelling, isn't it? It says that after drinking after drinking deeply, took his way slowly toward the cabin by the sea. We've not seen him in the cabin by the sea before.
Cabin by the sea.
He thinks he's an ape. How does he know about a cabin by the sea?
That's
Cabin
his
by the sea?
that's his parents' house.
Yeah, but
Not
he
his
doesn't know.
house, not his parents' house, but when they first landed.
He's looking right there down the bottom right. He's looking in the Playboys, thinking, "Is this how you pose?"
Yeah, exactly. It's a play girl here. Look at that up over there. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Get that arm up there, dude. Yeah.
Too much wine.
He's about to be attacked by a jealous ape.
He's been stalked by Joe Rogan.
Those are my Playboys, damn it.
Look at that pose on that bed. Look at that. It's a real, Middle Ages type of painting thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of that posing in here.
Yeah.
He's been
I'm
stuck.
so tired.
He's been stuck by a spear.
Yeah.
From the Angel of Wrath.
I don't get it. Why he's got this nice comfy bed thing going on, yet he's out there sleeping in this like middle of a river bed thing with some like probably damp moss.
He's dreaming of Joe Rogan now. He's got a little picture of him in that book. He's thinking, yeah, Joe's my man.
Yeah.
I'm all tired out now. I'm going to go to sleep.
Joe Rogan.
I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. Look, I've got a book about him. I love him.
Then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, it was a terrible dream. I'm going to go do the Joe Rogan podcast today."
Yeah,
Joe Rogan experience.
Go down there.
When he turned up at the studio, he turned around because he realised who he was talking to.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to tell him about my DMT trip.
There was an ape in the woods. Huh? Now Joe Rogan and him having a wrestling match.
Yeah.
He's getting carried away. Yeah.
Oh, that's jiu-jitsu.
And Joe says, "Oh no, it wasn't me. It was an ape." What's that stuff called? Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Yeah.
Yeah.
DMT,
I think he's had some of that, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He's suddenly grown
something.
another leg. Is he hiding his bits there with another leg?
It's his movement.
Oh, God. Yeah. What's that all about? Wow.
That's that same thing we saw
His show
before.
movement. He's got
Yeah.
an extra arm here too.
Yeah.
Except for they didn't
Wow.
fade it out this time. They went for
That's
fun.
right, yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Is
right.
it? Why has he got a smile on his face?
Because he's high.
Hammered. He's
Because he likes Joe Rogan.
It's off his face. Hey, Joe, let's wrestle. Yeah.
You know, that's the funniest thing I've heard all week. Joe Rogan. Oh, I don't think I'll ever get over that. Oh, dear. You are going to be on my podcast. I'm going to take you there now. And he's still smiling.
That's one of those. Wee. Yeah.
That's enough loopy juice for you. We have a show to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But first,
He's got his teeth into him here. Throwing him around.
Yeah.
Rah, 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 rah. What happens on the next page? Go on.
Who knows?
And again, thin lines, just outline.
Lovely.
Oh, dear.
Getting towards the end of the book here.
I knew would have thought.
Had enough of this.
I had enough
Oh,
of it.
that's a bit violent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he drinking his blood there, or is he just looking at it?
Probably just looking in.
Oh, that's a bit.
He's doing his Greystoke impersonation.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh, that wasn't it? I know he's trying to kill him, but
Yeah, it is harsh, isn't it? It's like you could have just like cut him or something. Gone right. That'd be a warning to you, Joe. back off.
You could have just punched him,
yeah.
couldn't you? Laid him out, you know.
Slammed him right there in the chest.
But these things are exceptionally strong. Like a chimpanzee could rip your arms off, literally.
Yeah.
So you don't want to mess with them.
So he like
Tarzan of the Apes looked down upon his kill.
It's a bit
Reached
dodgy,
down
that.
and touched the dead body. The lifeblood crimsoned his fingers. Raising his hand, he sniffed, he shook his head, and turned to the cabin.
Looks a bit dodgy, that drawing, doesn't it?
When he closed the latch, he returned the body to the body of his kill. As the gorilla had not disappeared, he placed a foot on the prostrate form and gave voice to the fierce cry of the bull ape.
excuse me.
Oh.
So in the left page or bottom panel, he's defeated his enemy and then he's pulled a pro gamer move and he's teabagging him now.
Yeah.
It all seemed very real now, yet he did not know.
Busa.
Puzzled, he turned away into the jungle. But there was one thing he did know. Never again would he eat the flesh of Tantor the elephant.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
Must have been what the orgy was all about.
Yeah, Tantor the elephant. Busa.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
that was
go.
it.
And we're done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was it. Edited by Connie Buckley, designed by Jim Craig. Composed in 12-point Bookman by Gerard Associates Graphic Arts Inc. Printed and bound by Interstate Book Manufacturers.
Wow. That was a treat, wasn't it? So that illustration there with that colouring doesn't do it any justice, does it?
No, it doesn't.
If you had to base it on that, you'd think, you know. But when you look inside, it's fantastic.
All that beautiful line work is overshadowed by the garish looking color.
All I can think about is at the end there, a picture of Dorian Gray that time he did drugs and thought he was in the jungle.
Yeah.
Folks, that was Jungle Tales of Tarzan. Last time we looked, there was still a copy over on eBay available. It's paperback. I don't think there was any hardback editions of this book, though. It's a kind of a travesty. IDW hasn't, or one of those publishers hasn't done a hardback limited edition of this.
I think they're all in trouble, to be honest.
Well, IDW is, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they're all in trouble.
Oh, they are. Yeah,
They're all in stuck.
Meanwhile, I have a book here of a couple of reprint books of Tarzan of the comic strip that we can go through. One's Hal Foster, so we don't have to look at that. But here's one by Flying Buttress.
Oh, look at that!
That's also the Hal Foster work.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the Hal Foster work then. Totally different approach.
This is volume 2. I don't have volume 1.
Hal Foster has a similar signature to Bill Everett, doesn't he?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah. Let me enlarge the camera here.
Bill Blackbeard.
Yeah.
I think he's a pirate.
He's done a lot of comic and illustration history.
I think
books.
He wants to be a pirate.
Yeah. Some of these great old covers. Dust jackets, really. That's the rare one.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
I've got some smaller examples of Hogarth's work. Pretty sure it's Hogarth. Ooh, just dropped a couple of big books on the floor. To complete from 42. Let's see who did this. Yeah, this says Burne Hogarth. Some of them were done in more paperback book form. This is by Blackthorne, who just slaughtered a lot of reprint material. Anything that they could reprint, they put into bound paperback volumes like this. But this has got his This is Burne Hogarth here. A little better, I think, reproduction than the.
Yeah, that colour's not doing it any favours, is it?
Not at all. I don't think it is. That's a lot better. It might have just been that one page. That's how these, and in the original newspapers, they were a lot bigger than this. They were about the size of this entire book.
It doesn't. The colouring doesn't look like it's been had any time spent on it, does it? I know. I know it's probably mechanical colouring, but
It is, yeah.
you know
They had to do that back then.
Yeah, it's just doesn't do it any favours.
No.
Rawr, you got to love dinosaurs, haven't you?
Dinosaurs and alligators. Yep.
If you look at the bottom of the page on the right, the bottom panel on the left, there it's a close up. I'm trying to figure out what he looks like. He looks like an actor or something.
Yeah.
I just can't place the face.
Where?
He looks like Victor Mature in Samson and Delilah.
He looks like Huge Jackman.
Yeah. Is he supposed to be hanging on that vine? Or is he just?
I think he's just pulling on it. No, I guess he is hanging.
It's not.
Look very sturdy for a vine.
Yeah. He must be very strong to bend his arm like that while he's hanging on a vine.
Yeah, just as a one-armed pull-up.
Yeah. The Black Panther's in next week. Ooh. Look at all those alligators coming out there, the crocodiles, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Crocodiles.
The alligator's the one with the thin noses.
Yeah, that's right. The smaller, aren't they? Alligators.
Oh, the colors on this are really, really crazy.
Speaking of alligators, I encountered one in Florida. It came at me.
Did it?
Yeah, I was on the side of the road. I was
Come at me, bro.
And it was it looked like a log, and I was just standing there, just looking. And all of a sudden, this log sort of eyes opened and looked at me and came at me in the water. You know, I got it back in the car and drove off. I didn't hang about for it, but it was coming at me.
Yeah,
Well,
you
Trying to steal your lunch money, eh?
It was coming in my direction.
About. Yeah, you could see. I mean, first time I went, I saw a tortoise or a turtle, as you call it in America, wandering down the road. There's literally just like just wandering, and I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? Shouldn't that be in a zoo?
Yeah. Ooh, look at that last panel there. He's got it there, hasn't he? Look at that. Wow.
Which one?
Very last panel on the right-hand page.
On the right, yeah.
Got that. Cool. Somebody's got him, haven't they?
Thunk. Got him.
Wow, that must have been travelling to go through him like that. Wow.
For Thunky.
Yeah, this coloring is very distracting.
That guy, I thought that guy had the legs of a puma then in the middle.
Size of an elephant.
Half puma, half man.
Form of a bucket of water.
Tarzan the Black Panther. Where's this Black Panther? Oh, it's literally a Black Panther. I'm thinking it's going to be a guy.
So it's actually a Black Panther.
Yeah.
A Black Panther here.
It's my cat.
Oh, it's his buddy, is it? I see.
What you call it, easier week than most.
Ooh, Tarzan got some then. Wow.
And he hangs it with another dude with a loincloth.
Yeah.
So what's he doing in ancient Egypt? Has he got a time machine or something?
Sometimes, yeah. He ends up running across all sorts of ancient civilizations.
Right. It's like
He's in the African jungle. You never know what you're going to find.
What's he doing? Pouring that on his head? Is he pouring the next one over?
Fire.
Left on page, last panel. Look over there. Is he pouring that on his head?
I think that's on a shelf here. Or on a.
Oh,
Yeah,
it looks
maybe,
like,
yeah. Looks like he's threatening him.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna burn you alive. Okay.
Yeah. And feed you to that monkey.
Let's see if your hair gel ignites.
It's like that scene in Game of Thrones where he cooks the crown on the gold in his head.
Never seen it.
See,
Never
it's a
seen
great
Game of Thrones,
ladle.
no.
Took the boiling pitch from the kettle
When were these first
and held it
published?
over Tarzan's head. You will perish if you betray the secrets of the temple, he cried. I would believe this is 20s, maybe very early 30s.
Right.
Probably a
32.
32, 33. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that scene in Game of Thrones, he takes the I guess the
gold and pours it on his head.
yeah, that's like one of the
Yeah.
most gruesome scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah. You should read the book.
I haven't read the book yet, but actually, I'm probably not going to read the book. I wasn't a huge fan of the show.
I got through the first one before the show came out. It was very nicely done, but it's the second one I had a hard time getting into.
Is it really just Lord of the Rings with tits?
No, not really. I thought it was fascinating that it was like a medieval. It starts out like a medieval story with legends of magic, and right at the start, they end up finding a pack of dire wolves, and they haven't seen one in over 100 years. And the guys are freaking. It's the royal hunting party. Ends up running across a dire wolf that's had a litter, and there's five.
A dire wolf. What's a dire wolf?
Dire wolf's a wolf about the size of a large buffalo.
Oh, geez, that's a big wolf.
Yeah. And that's why they were astonished, because they hadn't, that's the stuff of legends, and it's been 100 years since anybody's seen a dragon, 100 years since anybody saw any practical magic. And here is a dire wolf that they find, which to them was a mythical creature with, that's dead, that they've killed, has a litter of 5 wolves, and the king has 5, technically 4 siblings and one that he's adopted, who has the Jon Snow, who has a big backstory to it. Right. But what they ended up doing 100 years ago is they took all of the magic, the giants and the weird creatures, and they shoved them all north and built a big 300-foot wall.
Oh, right. Okay.
And just there in the north.
I'm going to say Donald Trump did that.
Yeah. And so for the last 100 years, they haven't had to deal with anything. And here's the country in the north that's, it's still weeks away from the wall that has run across this magical, legendary beast that they hadn't seen in forever. And the wise old, advisor guy that's traveling with the king recognizes what it is, because his grandfather used to tell him about it.
Right.
So they end up taking the dire wolves and splitting them amongst the kids, and the kids all end up having almost like a magical resonance with each of their wolves.
I thought you were going to say they all end up having no head because
as they grow up. Yeah, eventually they all have no head. That's farther along on the story.
Yum.
But the cool thing I thought about the world was that here is this. It's gone a century without having any magic, and all of a sudden magic just comes raging back. They end up, and the way the book is structured is that the story is taking place in 6 different locations with 6 different main characters, some of which are shits and some of which are you really feel for, or they make you feel for, and then he turns them into shits as they go along. It's really a well-structured tapestry, but come to find out, he had no idea how to weave the thing. So he's been wandering and been late on his trying to get another book out forever. And they got to the point where they had passed the books. And so they started making stuff up and just took the entire series right into the toilet.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not how I was going to end the books. Yeah. Okay.
If you look at that left-hand page of the center panel, I've learned what hieroglyphics are for. It's not telling you about aliens or anything like that. It's for climbing up the wall.
They were all the hieroglyphics in the pyramids were graffiti anyway.
They're just grips.
Yeah. It's what's it called, Russ? What John Fashion you used to run? Champions or something. Gladiators. Are you ready? It's one of them climbing up when they climb up the wall.
Oh, the climbing, the wall, climbing wall. Right,
yeah.
John Fashion, eh?
Yeah.
Look at the right there. He's got an alligator skin suit.
That's great. Look at
like you do.
That's a device that they ended up using in Prince Valiant. Only it wasn't an alligator. It was some
again. He's
animal.
great with a needle and thread.
Yeah.
Yeah. He must have eaten well that day.
Yeah. Just got to do more.
Oh dear.
Oh, there's some nasty color. Look at that teal. There.
It needs a comics code on it. This.
Yeah. Well, this is long before the comics code. This is about the time the Hayes office came in and straightened the movies out. There's still there's a unedited version. The first couple of Tarzan movies were pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. A lot of nudity and
yeah. What was that girl called? She was all right, wasn't she?
Yeah. You can just skim through this. This is Hal Foster's Tarzan. This is what Hogarth inherited when Foster left to do Prince Valiant.
I think Hogarth did a better job.
Took it up a level.
Yeah, several.
But in all fairness, look at what's going on here. This guy is doing sequential art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's having to tell the story in really small panels.
Well, it's the same. The same with Hogarth's work. Here's some samples of Hogarth's pages.
They're quite dense, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Well, this was a Sunday page, so you had to move the story along.
Different approach. Completely different approach.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Randy, is this platform you're on here, is that like up in the air, like chest height, or like you sitting down at a desk? Or...
This platform?
Yeah.
That's my old drawing table.
It's your own drawing table. How high?
Bought that when I was about 20 years old. So, yeah.
How high off the ground is it?
Comes up to my knee.
Oh, okay.
It's tilted, too, in order to, for the camera to hit it right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Kirby. Bought one drawing board, and that's all I've worked off of when I do physical work.
I had a drawing board when I was younger. Got given it, and it was a massive drawing board, big old thing. It was. It came with a tall chair, and I ended up giving it to a nephew. I wish I'd kept it.
So it's mobile for a reason. I think I spent a whopping $50 on it at the time. That was quite a while ago. Back when I was 20. So I've had it for about, 40, 50 years.
I inherited a drawing board that I was, this is a long time, 40 years ago, and I was told that I could have it. This guy was leaving where I was working, and he said I could have the drawing board. But when I'd finished with it, I had to give it away. And you have to tell the next person they had to give it away. And then I gave it away and got the drawing board I've got now, which I bought in 1990.
God.
So I hope the guy I passed it on to gave it away. It was falling apart, but it was a really good drawing board, but not as good as one of the new ones, with a parallel on it and all that.
Well, that's something I don't have. I need to get eventually.
Need it now. Get it now. Go this afternoon and get it.
I'll just
Sit
skip
at a drawing board and draw.
Yes.
Sometime real soon, I've got all of the Russ Manning Tarzan strips done that IDW reprinted. They're just absolutely beautiful. This looks like a cluttered mess compared to the Manning Tarzans. I always wanted to reprint those in the Flint comics and could never get them.
This coloring's awful. It's killing it, isn't it?
It's horrible. Yeah, it's killing me too.
Well,
but back then you reproduce this however you could find it. I've got another book here done by the.
There's the D&D creature. Sorry,
Snatcher. Great stroke. We're here.
Yeah, that's off the Monster Man, or one of them, either the Player's Handbook, or Monster Manual AD&D.
That's probably where they got it from.
Is he called Moloch? Thought he was in Watchmen Moloch.
There was a clash of symbols. Frenzied
Let me see if I can
shrieks
find it.
filled the temple. Ashresh answered, or covered by a black robe, was led in. The great veil was drawn back, revealing to the populace the devouring god Moloch, known to the Egyptians as Baal. I got another book here that's larger. That was a reprint book from the House of Greystoke. Probably a fan club that's been shot off of the original newspaper strips. You still see the gray tones from the coloring.
Wow.
But at least it's better, easier on the
Yeah,
eyes.
it's easier on the eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
March the camera up just a hair. But still, all these crowded panels and that, it looks crowded to us. Back then, these things were done, 4x3.
Here it is. I got the image right here. If I can,
Right where?
if I can blow my screen up here, I can show you.
I'm looking. Waiting
Share
to
the
see.
image.
There we are.
Me.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Blimey, it is, isn't it? Spot on.
That's probably where they pulled it from.
Spot on.
Just like there's an early Prince Valiant where he dresses up in deer skins, I think it is, and tries to pass himself off as a demon. And that's
So you were
literally Etrigan from DC.
Yeah.
you were saying that they named in the book there, they named it Baal.
Yeah.
It's the Egyptian Baal. Yeah, Baal.
Yeah, so that's also
Moloch.
a character in Ed Greenwood stuff from Forgotten Realms, one of the gods, the Lord of Murder.
Yeah.
So like murder and death. Yeah, D&D.
Ruse says D&D. Yes, D&D.
That's probably like this effigy here is probably used in other mythology or some as well.
Probably.
Yeah, it looks quite Incan, doesn't it? An Aztec.
Yeah.
That face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite wide, isn't it?
Incan, is that a word? Incan.
Probably.
Incandescent.
Yeah.
And there's been recreations of this too, but with better art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's not as good as the stuff we were looking
Yeah,
at
we'll do
earlier, is it?
we'll do a Prince Valiant volume sometime.
That'd be fun.
I've got a couple of those right during his prime period.
I bought the volume
that-
set.
Not that his prime period didn't last for like 40 years. So
Yeah.
just crazy stuff. Prince Valiant's just beautiful.
I always like
Very-
the
very
illustrations
different from
from
this. Oh, look at that.
D&D.
Easy week. Yeah.
Look at this one here. This is it's completely off topic.
There's a Submariner illustration that's very close to this, where he's fighting a sword shark with or swordfish shark,
Sword shark.
sword shark, whatever.
Short shark.
In there.
Sword shark.
shark
Prince
redemption.
Redemption, yeah.
Almost looks like Ed Marsh. It doesn't look like the Tarzan that we know at all. Nice shot.
What's he got on his head down there, the bottom left? It's like he's got a fireman's helmet on. Bottom left.
He's got a veil mask here.
Yeah. What's he got on his
It's
head?
it's like a crown.
Yeah, it's like a fireman. Get the hell out of the building.
It
It's
does
up
like
there.
a picked helmet.
Oh, check that out. Oh no, is that a band? Is that a band
that's
around his head?
and he's got his long hair. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
It's like a crown. Yeah.
yeah. And that woman makes it look like she's got a beard. But the face
Maybe
mask
she
on.
has.
Maybe she has. Yeah. Maybe he has.
She.
She's
got a veil mask.
Is there?
Big deal back then. A little handkerchief over the face.
Hmm.
No, peekaboo. Yeah.
That lovely crowd shot there. Sorry, with the clown. That's just
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then the nun looking after him in the bed.
so who's drawing this?
It's Hal Foster.
Hal
Right.
Foster.
You notice how this is different from the other Hal Foster stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to say it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
as good as the Prince Valiant, is it?
No.
This is similar in its density. Is more similar to the Hogath Tarzan.
Yeah.
Well, here I can pull up a couple of really
Look
good
at that-
examples of
Look at that
Hogarth.
bottom panel on the left where he's running. It's really good, that, isn't it? The blacks
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
on
in the
that
middle
running.
on the
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. Let me readjust the camera here real quick.
No.
Yes. This Blackthorn book is so small, you have to almost zoom up on it. It's smaller than a regular comic.
Oh, this is awesome. Sorry. I was distracted. I was looking up the artists for some of this D&D stuff. One of the better artists is called Jeff Easley, and you can buy his prints of his stuff for like $30.
Easley or Weasley?
Easley.
He's easily Weasley.
Probably.
Jeff Easley.
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 There's Hogarth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's a
I
lot
just
denser,
tossed it.
a lot more spotted blacks. And the reproduction on this is a lot better, even though it's dinky.
No backgrounds. Or,
These are great.
Practically none, yeah.
Epic Fantasy says Jeff Easley cannot draw horses.
Oh, hang on, I have to switch glasses in order to read those.
That link I posted in private chat.
Did all
to
the
his
covers for D&D for 8 years or so.
I'll have a look
Yeah.
at that later.
worth a shot.
Blackthorn was definitely a publisher. I can't say much else. Yeah, Vic, about right.
Oh, he's got lovely brushwork, hasn't he?
Easley's horses look, they're made of pastiche?
Plasticine.
Plasticine, yeah.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But he did sort of swell heroes and monsters, and it worked.
Oh, he's done a. Ooh, that's a weird one. He's got robots in that one.
For a D&D,
Yeah, that's odd.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he's got lovely brushwork. There are occasionally some anatomical issues. I'm being really picky because the brushwork, the finish is just amazing.
Can you show some?
They're on that. Whiskey put in a link in the private chat.
I'll
Let
probably
me see if I can pull it up.
get out the studio if I do that, so I'll do it later.
Oh, I've got it. Yeah. The trouble is sharing a browser window is a pain.
That's some beautiful artwork.
There's some
here.
beautiful produced work in there. Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
And those prints are only $30 each, which is cool. If I had the money.
Yeah, some lovely stuff there.
And you can contact them too. I don't know what you do, but hey, can you draw me something?
Oh, I guess he would if you give him some cash.
Yeah.
The trouble is, it'd be very expensive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Because I was thinking of possibly having the cover of the Shadow Kingdom we're doing, like a painted cover.
Look at that. Yeah.
Based off my pencils. But it's
a lot of Frazetta in this. Yeah.
It's a costly
His work.
process.
Look at that. That's classic stuff. Little NC Wyeth influence in some of this. There's a lot of different influences. There's a lot of Frazetta in this too. A whole lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
look at
face
that.
it, there's a lot of Frazetta in all of us.
That's a great dragon. Yeah, that's
Damn.
very true.
It's just how much we can show.
Yeah.
Lovely, beautiful work.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we done? We're supposed to be done, aren't we?
We're done. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Sunday, folks, if you swing by the Sunday Funnies, we're finishing off the Marvel Vault. We are up to the 1970s in Marvel history. Got a little book that's a museum in a book.
That's great. That I'm really enjoying that. That's
Covers the Marvel era.
what I
history
love
of
about it
Marvel.
when we do things like that is the chat that it creates.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you've got people having different ideas, springing off, going on different directions. Obviously, Sunday Funnies is that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about the chat. It's about exploring the art and what have you. Whereas
The oddball
it's
directions
more
the
about
conversation ends up
today is more about sort of like analyzing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
just showing it off. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
so much great stuff. Whiskey, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me over there at the old X, I guess it's called now, and Bandit and Ricochet. You can send me a message and I'll make you something in 3D. And you can use that for action figures, miniatures, toys, whatever you want.
All right. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can have a quick look at what I'm doing before I let everyone know. Here you go.
There we go.
Just some lizard people.
Lizard people.
Lizard people. So
Yeah.
it's just sorted out that lizard person.
How many pages are you into this now, Ross?
You're having a bit of a chat with him down there. This is page 43. So I've got
Another 24, 25.
24 to do. Yeah.
Right.
So, but it's
So you're making good progress on it, though.
yeah, it's
yeah.
it's getting there. It's I'm enjoying it, and like I say, I'm putting in that much more. Not as much as Hogarth, but that much more detail. I'm just giving it a little bit of flair. There's a bit where he comes back and kills Brawl's double, so he gets one in the guts there. So he kills one of the lizard people earlier.
Lizard people.
Yeah. 38. There you go. He's just like looking at him there. He changes into a lizard person there. So
Brule comes lunging at him, so he kills Brule, and then Brule walks in through a panel from the hallway and goes, another one. Damn it.
yeah,
I have to,
that's the one
cart
before.
this one off too. Yeah.
So as he's sliding off his sword
there.
there, and then you see him change, and he's thinking, "What the hell?" And then he turns, and Brawl's just come in and going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Back the truck up! Oh, this is me. I'm real."
It's recognized the first use really of the Anunnaki in fantasy literature.
Yeah. So
It's the start of all the lizard people, shape-changing lizard people legends.
so anyway,
The story it's such a great story.
It's a great story. I'm absolutely having great fun with it. So looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing that come out. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to my website, russleach.com, and sign up to my email list there, and there'll be more information coming out. I'm planning on doing lots of different things. I'm going to have an eBay shop with all my original art up soonish. But you can already pick up bits and pieces for Only Death Can Save Us, my current book set. Graphic novel series. You can pick up the graphic novel itself, the original version, or you can go to Amazon and get the New Haven version. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, whatever. The link there is for Amazon. Anyway, all my social media connections, all that kind of stuff, you can get the whole lot over at russleach.com.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on the usual social media things, Facebook and Instagram and whatever they call this week. They change all the time, don't they? All those usual outlets. And you can also get my book about my trip to see Jack Kirby on New Haven Publishing, and this is also in Barnes and Noble, Waterstones, on Amazon. It details my visits to Jack's house. It's got lots of photographs of me with him and all that kind of thing. And coming shortly, probably next week, I think, is issue 13 of Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page magazine about comics and artwork and articles and interviews and stuff like that. If you want the DVD of me talking to Jack in his studio, you can get that from me. So I'm sure you'll be able to find your way to me if you want that. And if you go to Amazon or put my name in Google, and you'll see all my books and magazines that I do and all that kind of thing. And I've got a couple of projects coming to Fund My Comics shortly to do with Hatch, my character. So just Google my name and you'll find lots of stuff to look at.
Excellent.
I've got to go. I'm sorry, I'm being called away.
See you.
All right,
See you
Russ.
later, guys.
Take
See
care,
you
man.
Sunday.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye.
See you.
Bye. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We do this every Friday morning at 5 a.m. We look through some great artwork that we love because we love this art form. We love to show it off. Next week, we're going to finish an entire month of pulp characters, I believe, by looking through a little bit of Shadow.
Look at that. Yes.
We'll look through The Shadow by William Kaluta. I've got issues 3, 4, and 6 here, 6 of which is a favorite of my childhood called Night of the Ninja.
Come on. One of those from the 70s, early 70s.
Yes, mid 70s. A little bit of Bernie Wrightson mixed in there.
Can't beat it.
As well, no. They are just amazing pieces of work. You don't want to miss it. We'll be looking at The Shadow by William Kaluta and Bernie Wrightson. If you go over to aerocomics.store, you can see some of my work, like works that I've written, like Paragon. It's a superhero story I'm really fond of, and Calico of Shard, which is a high fantasy book that I did, and also Hero Bot Zero, which is issue 1 I did practically all myself. Issue 2 I wrote. It's my creation, a 3-foot-tall giant robot who defends the cities from large menaces, as long as he can do it on the clock and get time and a half for hazard pay. Also, The Fool is available, I think, over at aerocomics.store. If not, it's available still over on Fund My Comic for a very short, limited time. We're fulfilling it now and getting all the copies out to everybody. That's kind of a rodeo clown of justice character. I can show you what that looks like here. Let me scroll up. All right, there's the cover to it, and here's the inside front cover in the first page. Great artwork by Chris Tyson, colors by Patrick Gama, creation and writing and lettering by myself. So right now I'm currently lettering this wonderful piece of work, artwork by Abdul Rashid and myself, called Alice in Chains. So you'll be able to, that'll be available over at Fund My Comics shortly as well. Then The Shadow Kingdom with Russ, that we showed some artwork off for earlier. And then after that, I'm working on a collection of Tales from the Aniverse with Susan Van Camp. We'll be doing probably 2 collections of that we'll offer at the same time through Fund My Comics. So take a look over there, and just go over there in general. If you haven't been there before, check it out, fundmycomic.com. There's all sorts of great campaigns for you to buy into. There's some phenomenal work going on over there. There's some unbelievable independent and alternative comics coming out now. You just have to sit back and enjoy yourself. You know, there's some just amazing works available over at fundmycomics.com. Go check it out. Other than that, folks, you can see us on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Like I mentioned, we'll go through that Marvel Vault. We'll have some fun doing that. Back here Friday morning at 5 a.m. for Comics by Night here on the Indie Comics Network over at the Randy Zim YouTube channel and Comic Book Black Belt channel. So go over there and enjoy it. Make sure if you're watching this after we've recorded it, we're archived over at all of those channels. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment. If there's a character, an artist, series, comic series that you want us to look at, we'll be more than happy to take your suggestions and look that up. And there's so much more to show you. We've barely scratched the surface of the great and phenomenal sequential artwork that's available out there if you just look. Don't let the current modern comics put a bad taste in your mouth. There's so much better work out there by so many great folks. Well worth your time. Such entertainment value. I can't stress it.
Yeah, all you got to do is just look, isn't it?
All you got to do is look. Yep. Folks, deeply appreciate you being here. See you soon. Have a great weekend. From all of us, we'll see you soon. Take care. We're going to go out with a couple of bumps and our ending, which is just like our beginning.
See ya.
We'll see you soon.
Farewell.
As he scrolls down frantically looking for something to plug in. Here we go.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
The name Jack Kirby is pretty much synonymous with comic book art. The man was and is a legend, not only because he was one of the principal architects of the Marvel Universe and the co-creator of Captain America, the Fantastic Four, Thor, Iron Man, the X-Men, the Hulk, and the Silver Surfer, amongst many others, or because he was the originator of the epic Fourth World Saga, which gave DC Comics such an endearing villain as the diabolical Darkseid. But because, well, he was there pretty much at the beginning, back in the earliest days of the American comics industry. The importance of his contributions to the development of the fledgling industry cannot be overstated. He may not have created it single-handedly, but he was certainly one of the reasons it took off the way it did, and a multitude of books have been written about the man and his life. But this one is different. This is the story of Jack Kirby, the man and his life, but it's also the story of its author, Glenn B. Fleming, an artist whose own life and work has been shaped by Kirby, and of how he met him and what happened when he did. It is an intensely personal account of one man's quest to come to know his hero, and along the way, through a fascinating mix of anecdotes, personal photographs, and correspondence, it sheds new light on the man justifiably known as the King of Comics. And now, all this can be shared with the world in this book, propagated by New Haven Publishing and available in all leading bookstores throughout the world. Come along for the ride. You'll be glad you did. It's an epic journey.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Always fun. Take care, everybody.
See you later.
Have a good one.
In the middle of the night or early Friday morning. The wrong one. Here we go.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Goodbye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horse shit, Jack.
No horse shit.